Except being liars or being sued, Harry and Meghan risks going to court over seatbelt laws in New York City. Hello, and a very warm welcome to LVT News. As we already know, it was widely reported that Meghan and Harry were chased by the paparazzi in a near-catastrophic car chase. But the images that have been released by the press are raising some pretty interesting questions about whether or not the two of them actually respect the law in New York. And this incident seems to be causing the two of them to have a headache with their fake PR antics. Andrew Cuomo, who is the governor of New York, signed legislation that required all motor vehicle passengers over the age of 16 to wear seat belts, including anybody sitting in a seat behind the driver and the front passenger. And the law went into effect back on November 1 of 2020. Now, considering that Harry's still all torn up over how his mother passed away, I would assume they would always be wearing seat belts, right? And especially because it is the law in New York. Obviously, there's not a lot of respect from the two of them for the rules of the city, especially considering that they were scared of this catastrophic car crash. Must be nice to be above the law, right, and then spend so much of one's own time and energy filing lawsuits against other people who have supposedly broken laws. Antelope, Cincinnati, Ohio, said that the local police seemed to be amused by the whole incident. Harry was taking photographs. Meghan was smiling and waving, and Mother was playing on her phone, clearly attacking the British royal family isn't producing enough money. And now the American paparazzi are in the firing line. Diana passed away because her driver was drunk, and apparently he was high on drugs, too, and the fact is, she chose not to wear her seatbelt if the driver had not been drinking. Diana would probably still be alive today. Why was Harry not wearing a seatbelt, though? Well, I guess because he loves to whine, but he's not very good at learning from anybody's mistakes, including his own. Obviously, Harry and Meghan does want to be professional victims. This near-catastrophic car chase story is just another example of the disinformation that comes from the two of them. And I'm saying disinformation instead of misinformation, because what they're doing is distorting the truth. They're not lying outright, but they have learned how to carefully twist things to make themselves look like victims. It was their spokesperson who tried to say that it was a 2-hour high-speed car chase through the streets of New York City. I mean, seriously. Has anybody out there tried to race at high speeds through a city that's built so densely, like New York, for an extended period of time? I mean, 2 hours. Yeah, right. I'm guessing the entire affair lasted 2 hours. And the actual car travel was perhaps 10 minutes. I would assume they spent most of that 2 hours sheltering in place, the police station. They were waiting for things to clear up, and they were the ones who chose to take a taxi instead of the SUV to obscure their travel. But they ended up being blocked by a garbage truck. I'm sure that time stuck behind the garbage truck is included in this 2-hour story. Maybe there was a small part of this 2-hour experience that was actually high speed. I don't know. I'm not convinced. Near catastrophic, though? Absolutely not. I don't believe that for a second. I guess technically, driving could always end up in a catastrophe, but it's very unlikely. Or perhaps it was a catastrophe because they were blocked by the garbage truck. And the cab driver has also come out and told his side of the story, and the way they were interacting with him didn't show that they were in any kind of stress. Harry gave him $50 and wished him well. To me, it just sounds like PR spin from somebody who does not know what they're doing. For what reason, though? I'm not sure. Meghan does love to use hyperbole, though, so maybe that's all this is. She just can't help herself. But they have got to let this one go. I mean, this is such a fail when it comes to their PR. They did not make themselves look good. And I would guess that the media people in New York are already